This judge didn't just blow a fuse, but the judge dropped a bombshell. In this video, I'm going to show you this judge lose it in court and say the unsayable, slaughter the sacred cow. And after that, I'm going to show you the backlash. But if you stay until the end, past my biblical reaction, I have an exciting announcement to make. And I want to give you an opportunity to be part of it because we have made the decision that South Africa will prosper. They just don't know it yet. So if you're ready, press like and let's go. This judge has headed up to here.
We also here, including Advocate Messi, endeavor to conduct ourselves with the utmost decorum to the court. If things spill over, my lord, today we can come and say tempers fled. We are sorry to the court, to Brigadier Gininda, to the public out there, my lord. That's
no, thanks. I appreciate that. I appreciate that. I'll tell you what. You remember, I don't know if you participated in that exercise. When some councils here refused to call Colonel Steyn. You remember that?
Yes.
You remember that?
Yes, ma'am.
The gentleman is a retired colonel. And I say, address him as Colonel Steyn. Some of you refused. You refused. I can even remember Mr. Ngomezulu, the late Mr. Ngomezulu, saying, why should we call him Mr. Steyn? We also have titles. And some others of you went aboard and said, you will never call him Mr. Steyn. And I said, well, I'll continue calling him Mr. Steyn. When I read this, you heard this, you say you must address a guy through his title. And then somebody, I think he made a comment that if Mandela comes here and he gives evidence, he's Mr. Mandela, or something like that. This is what happens in this court. People telling the judge, you're mad, you're mad. We're going to call him Mr. Steyn. You want us to call him Colonel Steyn? We are not going to do that. Am I right, sir? You remember that incident, Mr. Ngomar?
Yes, I remember.
You continued saying you'll call him Mr. Steyn.
No.
I mean, sorry.
I called him Colonel.
Yeah. You see, I remember pertinently. I don't even Mr. Ramosipidi, I think.
Yes.
I've always called every officer
yes.
by their title.
No, I was told to go to hell. I was told to go to hell. This judge is mad. I'm going to call him Mr. Steyn. Counsels telling a judge that when a judge makes an order in court, call him Colonel Steyn, even if you don't want to, because the judge who is in charge of the proceedings here says you must do so. You have got to obey that. But I was told to jump into the sea. You're mad. That's the conduct we have here. And when I make remarks sometimes about our black counsels, attorneys, maybe even judges, I'm told,
This one is mad. He thinks he's better.
Doctor, that's why I call you doctor. You are doctor now. But if you are prosecuting, I'll say, Mr. Prosecutor, fine. But if you are seated there, respect just demands that I should call you Dr. Sibanda. And I do it. Yeah, so that is it. Now I've got a note here, which I was read to you. The lady, my registrar, showed me this in her phone. Hello, your phone? I've excoriated it enough. It just shut up. When did you receive this?
It was sent yesterday.
Okay. Oh, it's from Mr. Who? Ashley Mzukela.
No.
Yeah, I'm saying it comes from Ashley.
No.
No, I see. But you say...
It was sent to me and Ashley.
Oh, to you and Ashley. Okay, fine. It's from Advocate Messi. Okay, let's read it. Dear colleague, it's not addressed to me because I'm not his colleague. May you kindly convey my humble request of leave of absence on Monday, the 9th June, 2025, to the Honorable Judge. The reason for my unavailability on this date is that I will be running the Comrades Marathon on Sunday, the 8th of June 2020, and will be driving back on the following day, being the Monday. That I have referred to. I know this may affect the proceedings in the above mentioned matter, but may I apologize in advance for the inconvenience to be occasioned by this request. Kind regards. Now this is what I talk about. Mr. Messi doesn't think he can write to me directly. He writes to me through my registrar, Ashley, and the lady in front here. And he says they must tell me that he's not coming to court on Monday. He'll be running the Comrades Marathon. Mr. Ngumal, what do you think about this type of letter? I don't know, it's not even a letter, it's written in a...
My Lord, honestly, I'll need like to remain silent already.
No, you don't have to remain silent.
I have no comment.
Would you do that? You, would you do that?
No, I haven't. I've never done it.
Yeah, fine. But would you do that?
No, I don't do that.
Mr. Ramusepidi?
As the court persists, my Lord, I think the proper procedure between the communication between His Lordship is normally through the registrar. And then if Mr. Messi, perhaps like it arrived now, I'm not in his mind, perhaps he was still going to raise it with the court, but the proper procedure from my understanding is via the registrar. Is the court?
No, this can't be via the registrar. He's telling the registrar to tell me that he won't be around on Monday. Is that proper?
My Lord, that's how far I can take it regarding that submission, my Lord. Mr. Messi is here before court.
No, he has written this. And so I don't know what I must do because this I'm told I'm not coming to court on Monday. I'll be driving back. Mr. Baloi, what do you think about this type of address?
As Mr. Ramusepulu pointed out, I think normal courtesy dictates that we communicate through the registrar and not directly with the judge. And I think that's what Advocate Messi had in mind. We never communicate directly with the judge, and I think that's what the ethics also dictates. So
you communicate through the registrar to tell the judge that I won't be coming to court on Monday?
Yes. I think in instances where counsel wants to communicate directly with the judge, then a meeting will be arranged in chambers and all the parties will be there. But if a party wants to perhaps convey a message to the judge, then they would channel it through the registrar. That would be the normal practice, my lord.
So I'm not going to respond. If Mr. Messi doesn't want to come to court on Monday, that's his business. I will be in court. And the JP expects me to be in court.
That's probably Judge President.
Can't tell the JP somebody's going to run the marathon. So the case should stop. Everybody should watch the marathon, I suppose. Judge Stalker also is an athlete. But he'll never take time to say, I'm not coming to court. because I'm going to be running the marathon. Never. At the worst, I know Judge Mpofu would make arrangements that he must expand part of his leave during that time so that he doesn't interfere with the timetable of the court. This case, people are talking justice delayed, justice denied, 10 years, no justice, case is just dragging on. The family is distraught, the brothers, the relatives, even the accused themselves, they've been 2 to 3 years in custody. And here's this stupid judge called Ratha Mokgoatlheng. You allow a person who's representing 2 of the accused here to go and run a marathon. I must go and tell the JP. When the JP asks me, why were you not sitting, or the DJP, why were you not sitting on Monday? No, we're waiting for Advocate Messi to come drive back to Joburg, to wherever, because he was running a marathon. This is South Africa, run by blacks. I can tell you now, even if you call me an Uncle Tom, I don't think a white advocate can have the gall to ask me that. Never. Okay, you've heard me. Right. You're still under oath.
Yes, ma'am.
And the trial continued. Now you know there's backlash.
Joining us for this conversation is Advocate Dali Mpofu. He's from the Pan-African Bar Association of South Africa. Advocate Mpofu, good evening to you. Thank you, as always, for talking to us. Let's put yourself in the shoes of Advocate Messi. Here you are, having trained. This is a hobby, as per the judge's words. Does he have permission to really go and run a marathon, given that we have been looking at a marathon trial and a family is seeking justice here? Would you go and run?
Polly, I don't think that's really the point that we want to address as Pabasa. But then the second issue is about the remarks that he made about black lawyers. That is totally regrettable and unfortunate, and actually something to be condemned in the strongest possible terms. Because to make remarks like that, and he's doing this for the second time, remember on the first occasion he apologized for making similar remarks. So it seems that this is something that he strongly believes in, the inferiority or difference of black people in general, or black lawyers.
All right.
And we cannot afford to have judges who can spew out racist remarks like that. Whether they are black or white, it doesn't matter.
It appears, I'm sorry to cut in, Advocate Mpofu, in the interest of time, it appears that you have a judge who is at his wit's end because of time pressures and the length of time that this trial has been running. How does he address matters of professional conduct? Because the lawyer himself was in the wrong just yesterday, referring to a police officer as dumb.
Yes, well, 2 wrongs don't make a right, Oli. So you cannot address issue of professional misconduct perceived by judicial misconduct. Because to spew out racism and label all black lawyers by the same brush is racism, and it must be called out as that. It would be the same if a woman judge said, well, all women are like this or like that. It doesn't matter who says it, it's wrong. That would be sexist, and this is purely racist. And it cannot be tolerated in a society like this, which is already ravaged by racism. Remember, a judge is an embodiment of society and represents the Constitution itself and protects the Constitution. That Constitution says that we must move from the ills of the past. And for someone to be repeatedly repeating those ills of the past. And I dare say that if a remark like that was made by a white judge, somebody would, be up in arms. Yeah. And in my book, it doesn't make any difference that it is made because it's self-hate, and it's exactly what Steve Biko and Fanon and people like that were talking about, that we imbibe our own inferiority and we then exhibit it in some form of seeking white validation. Yeah. And that is not acceptable in normal society. If I said it to you, Pauline, and I said all black journalists are like this, you would take exception properly so. Yeah. And we must not accept that. And as Pabasa, we will be taking this up with the Judicial Services Commission through the proper channels and probably lay a formal complaint against this kind of conduct because it's unacceptable. And I'm saying that totally without going into the merits of what Messi did or didn't do or whether it was right or wrong, but there is nothing that Messi could have done to justify this kind of racist vitriol.
All right. Advocate Mpofu, again, I need to emphasize time. I absolutely take your point, particularly with this country's history, racial history that we come from. However, again, I need to press you on this. Professionalism. Professionalism, Advocate Mpofu, this particular case has already had a lawyer disbarred because of ill behavior. Now, you have another lawyer who uses words in court that clearly are not palatable, and now he wants to go and run a marathon as if to rub salt to the wound of families who've previously complained that we travel long distances from Durban to Pretoria to come and attend trial because we want to see ultimately what's going to happen here. Surely Advocate Messi cannot also walk scot-free on this one.
Yeah, look, Tolly, that's the point I'm making. Firstly, it's not true. It's completely false that white advocates don't make requests to judges for such indulgences or traveling or family commitments or that kind of thing. That happens routinely.
A family commitment is different, Advocate Mpofu.
Yeah,
a family commitment, that's important.
Fair enough. All I'm saying is that maybe let me help you like this, Tolly. Assume that what Messi did was wrong, so that we don't have to quibble about that. The point I'm making is that whatever he did, professionalism is a two-way street, respect is a two-way street. You can't fight professionalism with lack of professionalism. You can't fight misconduct with misconduct. And you can't fight whatever frustration by racism. That is not acceptable in South Africa, and the line must be drawn on that. Assume Messi was wrong, assume he shouldn't be running marathons, assume he shouldn't make the request, whatever. But the issue of the day is, and the reason we're having this discussion, we don't have discussion every time that trial takes place. We have a discussion now because a racist remark was made by a judge, and let's address that issue rather than scapegoating by the rights or wrongs of Messi's conduct at this stage. It is completely unacceptable, and even if the professional lawyer had crossed the line, the way to address it is not to humiliate all black lawyers, sitting at home and being insulted on television. For what? Just for being black? No.
Advocate Mpofu, always appreciate your time.
The one thing that holds us as black people back, and I'm talking to you, my nigga, the one thing that holds us back is this standard default of I'm a about to break down. You know, like two grown men. Think about this. Sitting saying, if I said all black journalists are lousy, you would break down and cry. Is this crutch? Say that. Say it now. Say all black podcasters are lousy. Okay, cool. Thanks for sharing your opinion. Like, my life is going to change now because someone said something about black people. We haven't even learned anything from an advocate about the law. We have learned nothing. When this happened, I thought, I wonder if a judge is allowed to do that. What's the code? What's the... They said something about my skin color, so I got out of my 7-bedroom house and got into my Porsche and swiped a credit card, a full tank, to run to the studio to tell everybody to tell him to stop saying that. He said something about my skin color. Guys, watch out. These comrades, revolutionaries. Oh, you sound like an apartheid apologist. I apologize that I'm not a victim of apartheid. I'm a victor of it. I apologize. I apologize that my view is clearer when I see the future than when I see the past. I apologize. Oh, are you one of those glorification of apartheid? The messy past is nothing compared to the glory up ahead. Then he starts telling us, yeah, Fanon, okay, guys, now you know. Don't read Fanon. He's gonna have you being a 60-year-old billionaire crybaby. And I'm not talking about Mr. Mpofu. But you know them. The present day beneficiary of apartheid. Because present day beneficiaries of apartheid are the comrades, the revolutionaries, the fighters. If it wasn't for apartheid and the fact that they talk about apartheid every day for a living, they would not even make $1 million. They haven't developed any skill. Even within their areas of expertise, they haven't developed a skill. I know you wouldn't have made it anyway. You are a beneficiary of apartheid. What's your job description? Remind people of apartheid so you can mug people in shacks. Because you wouldn't be able to sell any other product. And then he says, if I said that to you, you would be upset. What is this? What is this that if you black, anger is guaranteed? What is this that, how about if you black, an angle for taking us forward is guaranteed? So the more you hear the backlash to the judge, it's like, but you're confirming exactly what he's saying. I don't know, when does it stop? So let me give you my biblical reaction. The funniest thing to see was Mr. Mpofu trying to pull the race card on a black guy. And it's so pitiful. It's so pathetic. And he had to say, it doesn't matter that he's black. Yeah, because he's as black as you are. Therefore, who appointed you representative of blacks? What if he's the representative of blacks? It's like so ridiculous now. Now here's what's happening in the country. There are a lot of black people who are now speaking out and saying the things that would get a white guy in trouble because you're racist for saying that. And of course they must come with Fanon and say, no, it's just self-hate to please whites. How pathetic can it get? How about that's the guy's observation over time? Just like it's your observation. Just like it's my observation. No, just be good at what you do. That's how the world works. You develop your skills. You make sure your next presentation is just 1 degree better than your last presentation. You learn to read because you read speeches. Your vocabulary is bad, you develop it. You read, so you develop your vocabulary. You watch stuff that will develop your vocabulary. You don't You learn. Why? Because your job includes speaking. But you need to understand our history. That's where black fatigue comes in. Black fatigue comes in where we say, at some point, can we accept some responsibility? Because until you accept responsibility for something, you can't do nothing about it. We expect a soccer player to score goals and run fast. We expect a painter to make the wall smooth. How come all the comrades, revolutionaries, fighters tend to be the worst communicators with a full-time communication job? It's because this philosophy leads to lousy performance. And so that's what the judge was talking about. And here's the problem. You know it, I know it. There are many of us who are saying, we want to take our country somewhere. Crying hasn't built nothing. Not a single invention out of South Africa in 30 years. Not a single one. And the one I can think of is Eskom Sepush. It's no longer working. When you start going on TV to cry about a black guy being racist, I mean, I'm not defending his unprofessionalism, but it gets pathetic after a while. It really gets, but dude, he's racist, guys. Let's all be angry. I know he's black, but he's racist. It's like, okay, I thought Fanon told you blacks can't be racist. Oh yeah, it's self-hate. Yeah, because it takes self-love to be crying on TV all the time. Let's get positive now. When a strong man, fully armed, guards his estate, his possessions are secure. Let me put it like this for you. When a comrade, fully armed, guards his position, his blacks, the shack blacks that he's mugging, are secure. But when one stronger than he attacks and overpowers him, he takes from him all his weapon he trusts in and divides up his plunder. See, the strong man of comrades, revolutionaries, and fighters is the race card, the victim card, the anger card. Here's the problem. There are too many stronger than them. What's that? There are too many black people saying, I'm tired of crying. I want to live in a nice country now. I just want to get out and compete. I don't want BEE. I don't want a grant. I don't want any government's plan. The government is not the solution. The government is the problem. There are no jobs because of the government. Not because the government is not doing something. It's because of everything they are doing. Because their strong man, their weapon that they trust is to tell us we are victims, the black poor, the previously disadvantaged. Even these billionaires, they call themselves previously disadvantaged. Insist, they fight. No, I must keep my previously disadvantaged. How about you are currently ultra advantaged? But you see, that's the weapon they trust in. And there's a move in the country that more and more black people are saying, nah, we've had it with this. And guess what? This country right now is in a place, whether you know it or not, is in a place where there's a shift to prosperity. There's a shift to prosperity, and that is good news. And if you coming along on the journey, please comment prosperity is the order of the day. Comment at the bottom. Comment prosperity is the order of the day. Thank you so much. By the time you see this, if you watch it after a few days, we will have a barcode of our brand new book, The Soft Life. 3 simple secrets comrades don't want you to know. And it says, this may change how you vote forever. So we will have this book available for purchase. You can get yourself a copy. The barcode is in process. Then we'll be able to get the copies out. But we are also printing 1 million copies to spread throughout every township, every informal settlement. That's phase 1. It's 1 million copies that we're going to print and spread so that this will be the most famous book by 2029 nationwide. And a certain percentage would have read it. Certain percentage will hate it. But you just need that 10-20% who sits and reads it and reads it and reads it. And they start talking to their friends. They start getting black fatigue. The next time some comrade tries to answer a question that has nothing to do with apartheid, the next time some fighter gets on a stage and says, kill the Boer, you'll have more people going, but this is not helping anybody. This is not helping the economy. This is not helping anything. The next time some comrade gets up and says, we will do this for you, they'll be sitting there thinking, no, I don't want you to do this for me. And it will build people's confidence because of understanding. So 1 million copies we're going to spread throughout. And so I have to thank, actually there are more signatures now, but I couldn't make them. I need to thank those of you who've been involved and gotten involved with the Prosperity Catalyst Fund. If you go to the bottom, you can see how to get involved with this and help us. We've come this far. We are close to coming out, and I'm very excited. I always hear from people, they say, I wish this information could get to the right people. I've also heard many people say, maybe translate it into various languages. You know, many people have fallen for the ANC's garbage and the ANC's picture of the average black person in a township or in an informal settlement. And because they talk about them in such demeaning terms, talk about them like they can't do anything, talk about them like they're not dynamic. Listen, there's no corner of this country I have never been to. There is no corner of this country where I felt I could not communicate with people because I'm above them, especially the younger ones under 30, under 20. A 20-year-old black person is as sharp as anybody. You got the wrong picture. That's a small portion of people who are still that rural. Most people are in semi-rural and semi-urban, if you know what I mean. So it's rural but not too far. That's where the populations are. So they will read it, and they can, and it's written to be clear enough, engaging enough by one of the best communicators, by the grace of God, to reach them. You could do nothing, do something, or take the opportunity. Let's bring prosperity to South Africa. This is my vision of South Africa that I leave behind. This is lower class township. This is what people want. This is what South Africans want. And the problem has been not what the government has not done, but what they have done to stop us from just getting to a 10% growth rate. And we just need a 10% growth rate for 10 years. And this is what a township is. In 20 years, this will be the lowest. If we just sit on a 10% for for 20 years. Let's do it. What does it take? It takes just getting 10, 20% of the young black people who are not yet voting to start voting. And someone says, but these people, I don't know, why do they? Look, it's because they haven't been given the basics. This is a picture of the biggest soapy in South Africa. It's called Generations. This is what the majority, which is black obviously in South Africa, this is what people watched more than any other show. It's just no one has come to say, do you know you could vote and have this? Do you know that these ones don't want you to have this? Because these ones have a national democratic revolution which says that I am an enemy for believing in black people, for believing that we should be releasing their potential rather than spoon feeding them, and looking after the ones who have situations that block them. And that's a small minority. We can afford to carry them if you just have everyone pursuing their dream, pursuing their vision, finding a job and finding a way to rise. And for me, this is exactly what this will do. It will connect the dots. And I'm so excited about this because this is how you change destinies. You change minds with information brought so easy that a grade 4 who hasn't read much will get it. Because in any population, there are a few who will sit and read and they'll start telling others, and like a virus, it spreads. We have a target of 2 million for phase 1 in rands. Tell somebody to tell someone to get involved because we are on a clock. Because this is what I see in my mind, where our grandkids will be working. Safe, clean, 2% to 5% unemployment. The homeless also get handled in nice environments with a 3-course meal, because you'll always have people who are struggling, but they have nice basics. We can go here. So let's go here. Let's go here. And I know it sounds like, this is pie in the sky. The Apple guy, he said, here's to the crazy ones, the misfits, the rebels, the troublemakers, the round pegs in the square holes, the ones who see things differently. They're not fond of rules and they have no respect for the status quo. You can quote them, disagree with them, glorify or vilify them. About the only thing you can't do is ignore them, because they change things. They push the human race forward. And while some may see them as the crazy ones, we see genius. Because the people who are crazy enough to think they can change the world are the ones who do. So I'm not inviting everyone who's watching this, but if you think you are one of the crazy ones, one of the misfits, the rebels, one of the ones that says, yeah, why can't that be South Africa? Then I extend a hand to you. Let's do it together. Let's do it together. And so you can go down to the bottom, get the details, whatever you need to do, but take an action now. Or you can go down and put in a credit card and do that, and you'll be able to watch as it unfolds, and you can do more and more. You're an entrepreneur, you're watching. Dude, lady, I don't know why you would not be making the biggest donation from your company account. Because we gotta go there. We gotta go there. So, no man can serve two masters. Either he'll love one or hate the other, or he'll respect the one and dishonor the other. You cannot serve God and Karl Marx. You cannot chase prosperity and grievance. You cannot serve the God of right, wrong, good, bad, success and prosperity or failure, and black, white, revolutionary, counter-revolutionary, injustices of the past or redress and transformation. You can't serve both. So I'm asking you, please choose prosperity. And 2029 is coming. For those of you who are not sure, vote prosperity. For now, I'll see you at the bottom. Thank you so much for being so generous with the Prosperity Catalyst Fund. And we committed, we are locked into this. So let's make history together.